Hi, this is Don Southerton in another episode of Everything Korea. This week's episode is titled The Short Answer. Last week I was on a conference call with a client and we were discussing a number of topics. And what came up in the call was she asked how to best describe what my work was and do I provide consulting for CEO and C-level management. Her organization, the organization she works with, has an international development committee made up of a number of CEOs, and she was wondering if it was going to be a good fit, me assisting and working with them. My short answer was that a client and longtime friend, then as the chief marketing officer of a major company I was working with, best described my practice to others as Everything Korea. I also have been introduced as a high-powered consultant, which I sort of enjoy that title. But more recently, when I was being interviewed in Korea for one of the major radio talk shows called Koreascape, they introduced me as the guru, the guy CEOs want to have their voice heard with. And again, I was very pleased, and I like to hear those type of things, like we all would. So pondering over the weekend on the question from the conference call, much of what I do is provide context and a strategy for decision makers involved in Korea-facing business projects. And they can range well into the hundreds of millions of dollars, even into the billions of dollars. In particular, I provide counsel and solutions based on my many years working with Korean business. A good part of that is with the international expansion into new markets and the challenges that surface as a client once asked, where are the landmines that he needs to be aware of and avoid in the project? So this gets to why I post weekly vodcasts, frequent media communications and commentaries, case studies, as well as the many books I've written on Korea-facing topics. They all serve as channels to support and educate my client base. That said, in my consultancy, each engagement needs to be approached differently, and I look at each on a case-by-case basis. No two situations are ever similar. They might be close, but never identical. If you feel you might be able to benefit from my services and from an engagement, I think it might be something that's worth that we talk about. I've blocked out availability, and I always add into this website and into this blog and this vodcast. There's a site you can go to that has my availability. It's called meetme.so/Southerton, and you can go in there and you can see the times, and you can, instead of playing ping back and forth on emails, you can go in there and those are times that I'm free, and you can just sort of designate that. So in closing, I do have a few things I always like to add. A great book on the reshaping of the American economy in New Order I've been reading lately. So I'd like you to check out Richard Florida's The Rise of the Creative Class, the revised edition. And again, I always prefer hardcover versions of these books. One of those, that link is in this podcast too. As I'm writing one of these commentaries every week, and as I'm thinking about what we're going to be talking about together here, even if it's a short time, I still have, a lot of thought that goes into this. And I like to play music while I'm doing this, usually on my iPhone, and I'm blasting it into my ears. And I put it on repeat song, so it continues to play over and over. So this week, as I was dropping this episode, it was Pink Floyd's "Wishing You Were Here." And again, that's the remastered version on iTunes. I have the link involved. So again, until next week, this is Don Southerton wishing you all the best. If you're interested in me helping you or even listening to what some of your situations might be, I'm very open to that. Just schedule it in our system here. Take care. Have a great week.